What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again, and now I am animated. Yay! Yahoo! Once a week, I'm gonna have a little clip of the video animated, so that way you guys can enjoy some animated things. That's a word. Yeah, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, today we're gonna be talking about something I did at my job. So let's go. So when I was 17 and a senior in high school, I worked at a movie theater, and you know, it was pretty cool, I guess. I would walk up and down the hallways with a flashlight and like shine lights on things, and that's pretty cool. You know, everybody likes a good flashlight shining job. I don't really know who likes flashlight shining jobs, and if you do, you're probably a little bit lame, but you guys get the idea. And one thing they made us keep an eye out for in these movie theaters were people that would movie hop, which is the art of going from one movie to another without paying for another ticket. Basically, it was our job as flashlight people to make sure that nobody was sneaking from movie to movie, ripping us off and stealing all of the profit for themselves. And most of the time, people were super cool and would basically leave the movie and go home like normal people. You know, get in your car and drive away the way that normal people do things. Drive home, Grandma. You're drunk. Anyways, though, sometimes, every now and then, you would get a miscreant, a criminal who was willing to stoop to the lowest levels to enjoy a free movie. I don't actually think you're evil, by the way, if you're just trying to get to a free movie, but I had a job, alright, and I ain't gonna get fired so that way you can see Beauty and the Beast twice without paying for it. Trust me, it wasn't worth paying for it the first time. There's a lot of angry people in my comments right now. And this is gonna be the person that I dealt with that definitely took things too far, lady. Okay, if you're watching this, I want you to get some help. I don't know what type of help you need, but you need help. I can promise you that much. That's a guarantee. So one day I'm sitting there just doing my flashlight job, walking up and down the hallways with the flashlight as you do in the movie theater, and I see a movie start to get out. So I go down there and I'm just keeping an eye out, and a lady with a big old purse with a chihuahua in her purse, which is already against the rules, darts from the exit of that movie to the entrance of another movie. And I'm like, oh no you don't. I turn on my lights, I pull her over. Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, do you have a ticket for this movie? And she looks at me and goes, who do you think you are? And it's at this moment I realized this is not going to be as easy as I hoped it was going to be. So after getting yelled at, I try to double back a little bit. You know, I'm like, hey, I just work here. I saw you leave the exit of that movie and come into this one, so I'm just asking to make sure that you have a ticket. And she looks at me and goes, well, I don't think that you have any right to talk to me like that. Why does it matter if I have a ticket? And I'm sitting here scratching my noggin like, because, lady, if you didn't pay for a ticket, I can't let you enjoy the movie. Like, that's not how this works, all right? You gave me money to see that movie, but you didn't give me money to see this movie, all right? So, like, if I don't care, then I make no money, and that's not a good thing, all right? It's just not good. What? No, everyone can win here. You don't have to cause this many problems, woman. And that sets her off. And usually I was trying to be chill, bro. I would just be like, get out, and then you would leave, and I wouldn't go tell my supervisor. I wouldn't get anything involved, because technically they could call the police and get you in trouble, because, you know, what you're doing is illegal. Jumping from movie to movie is just like stealing, I guess. You remember that old cheesy commercial where it's like, you wouldn't steal a car? First of all, if it was possible, I definitely would steal a car. Or like download a car, sorry. You know, they're like, oh, you wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't download a house. Ho, catch me with Facebook offering me a free house to download, and I would never download a house. You're lying. But you guys get the idea. It's illegal. And so I'm kind of like, ma'am, keep your voice down, because if my managers hear it, then it's gonna be an issue. And my managers aren't exactly the best people in the world. These are the same people that, you know, tried to fire me because of the fact that a boomer got angry that I tried to give her a free drink. They're not exactly understanding people. So I'm like, chillax, I'm trying to let you off here. And she's like, oh, you're trying to let me off by letting me go into a movie that I paid for? And I go, ma'am, if you paid for it, then just show me your ticket. I don't see a ticket. First of all, if you came in here and bought tickets to 2 different movies, that's kind of weird. Second of all, I don't see a ticket. Like, show me a ticket. If you show me a ticket, you're good to go. I'll let you go. I'm trying to explain this, right? I'm like, hey, if you paid for the movie, then it's no big deal. Just show me your ticket. She's like, well, it's on my phone. I'm like, okay, well, you can pull out your phone, like, show me the ticket. If I see the ticket, you're good. She's like, I don't have to show my phone to you. And I'm like, okay, stop yelling. And my manager is walking by, and instead of doing the smart thing here and not talking to him, this woman decides that she's going to get my manager involved, which is a very bad idea, because when I was given the flashlight, this guy, my manager, who kind of looked like a skinny Peter Griffin, had given me this entire speech about the responsibility that comes with this flashlight and how it is up to me to preserve the sanctity and security of this movie theater. And I'm like, sir, this is a flashlight. I'm really just trying to get my job done and go home. I'm not trying to be Paul Blart out here. So if you can make it where I don't actually have any responsibility with this flashlight, I'd really appreciate it. So the manager that is screaming at me that it's my job to keep the sanctity of this movie theater intact is now getting called over, and he is not going to have any sympathy for this woman. I'm telling you that, because this guy, I've never seen somebody more passionate about movie theater security, all right? Like, you know how we get excited when a new video game comes out, or you get excited when a new season of a series you really like drops? This guy would sit there and be like, oh, gee willikers, we got new guidelines on theater security. Like, he was a nerd. So she calls him over and she says, your employee here is trying to make me show him the ticket for this movie theater. My phone is off because I was enjoying another film. Please tell him it's ridiculous to ask me such ludicrous questions. And so my manager looks at me and he goes, well, why did you ask her to show a ticket? And at this point, I'm not being nice to this lady anymore, okay? I was trying to let you off and just let you go home. So now I tell him, I said, well, she walked out of this theater and was walking over to this one, and she was being all sneaky while doing it and looked suspicious. So I asked her to see her ticket, and she keeps telling me no. And I'm like, I don't know if she has a ticket. All I'm saying is it looks suspicious, and she's refusing to show me the ticket that she bought. And of course, my manager, who is in fact Mr. Boy Scout, Mr. Movie Safety, is like, ma'am, if my workers have reason to believe that you're movie hopping, then I have to do my due diligence and investigate. Like, you know, Inspector Gadget out here was really on to crack the case of the missing movie ticket. I swear, it was like the most important thing of this guy's entire life to make sure that this woman needed to be here. And so he's like, well, you're gonna have to show me your ticket, ma'am. And she gets all offended. How dare you assume that I'm stealing? Do I look like a thief? And my manager gets all like quiet. He's like, no. But those are the ones that trick you the most. All right, Batman, calm down. You're not locking up the Joker right now. You're locking up a soccer mom with an affliction for Disney movies. So whatever, she starts digging through her purse, trying to make it look like she has a ticket that she's looking for, when I know for a fact that she doesn't at this point. And to be honest with you guys, I really was not pressed at all. I walked up to her and just asked her, and if she would have said, oh, you know, no, I don't, and gone and bought one, it would have been fine. No big deal. I wouldn't even have said anything. I don't care at all. I could have been like, oh, maybe you just forgot to buy it. I was gonna be super chill about it. I was not trying to cause a problem. But whenever a boomer just gets mad at me for doing my job, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Maybe you should stop just movie hopping. And listen, if you movie hop, I don't care. Like, surprisingly, in terms of my moral disagreements with people, movie hopping is not near the top of the list. I've never been at a party and been like, oh, you movie hop? Wow, Hitler. Like, that's just never something that I've thought. I don't really care. So this lady's kind of brought this onto herself. We really did not have to make things this complicated. She decided to get my manager involved. And so she's digging through her purse and she's like, oh my gosh, I must have misplaced it. And my manager's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Let's go into the other theater and look for it together, ma'am. I'll help you look, but I can't let you go into this movie without a ticket. And she's like, no, it's whatever. I feel disrespected anyway, so I'm just gonna leave. And he goes, ma'am, were you trying to steal from the theater? And she gets like this like nervous look on her face and she goes, no, like a child, all right? Imagine a child that has cookie crumbs all over their face and then their mom is like, oh, were you trying to steal cookies? And they try to go, no, I wasn't. Like, this is a grown woman trying to act coy when we all know for a fact that she was trying to sneak into a movie, right? And so my manager says, ma'am, you're going to have to come with me to the front of the movie theater. I'm going to have to get the police involved. And she's like, the police don't have to be involved. I'm so sorry. I must have misplaced my ticket. And he goes, ma'am, it's too late for that. I take crime in my theater very seriously. So I'm going to check the computer for every credit card transaction to see if you really did buy a ticket. And if you did, then we're good and I greatly apologize. But ma'am, I do believe you're committing a crime here. Obviously, my manager is taking this very seriously, all right? Like, he thought he was a cop, bro. This man wanted to be Paul Blart so bad. So they go to the front, and obviously this chick just doesn't have the ability to prove that she bought a ticket because she didn't, which is why I was asking her in the first place, right? And she starts trying to talk to my manager and is like, oh, haha, I must have forgotten that I didn't buy a ticket. Oh, gee willikers, that's so crazy. Oh, no, I'll never come back. I'm so embarrassed. And the manager's like, no, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. You lied to my employees. Like, my manager he was a dork, all right? But at least he was a dork with a good heart. So my manager tells her that since she didn't buy a ticket, he has to inform the police. And obviously, she's like, no, please don't do that. And he's like, well, then you need to admit that you're never going to come back to this theater. And da-da-da-da-da. If I ever see you in here again, I'm calling the police. And she's like, okay, whatever. And so, obviously, she's kind of annoyed and she's embarrassed. So she's leaving. And before she leaves, she turns back, she looks at me, she goes, look what you did. You could have just let me sneak into the theater. And I was like, ma'am, you are a full-grown woman. You have kids, all right? You have a 401k. You have a retirement portfolio, and you're going to be mad at me because you were the one trying to sneak into a movie theater and got caught? I'm sorry, I'm doing my job, lady. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not getting fired so that a Karen can enjoy a double feature of Beauty and the Beast. It's just not worth it, right? And so I'm kind of like, okay, ma'am. And she just starts getting snippy with me, and she's like, the fact that you stoop so low to embarrass customers that pay your salary is ridiculous. And I looked at her, I went, lady, do you honestly think I have a salary? You think that me, the child working at this establishment, has a salary? Are you kidding me? My manager doesn't have a salary. So no, I'm not going to risk letting you sneak into a movie theater and me getting fired because, I don't know, you have some weird urge to do illegal things because you and your husband's life is boring. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. And she says, well, your manager just cares way too much about the movie theater. I'm like, yeah, okay, you're not wrong. I'm not denying that my manager's a little bit weird, but I don't understand how that's my fault. And I guess that was the last straw because next thing I know, she had like a large Coke in her hand and we had very large Cokes. I'm having to play dodgeball with Coca-Cola, dodgeball with diabetes to get out of the way because she had thrown, and I mean thrown, this ginormous cup of Coke at me. So I dodge it and it smacks into the glass with a big thud. Coca-Cola goes everywhere. My manager, who's still in the office filling out paperwork, comes out and asks what happens. And this woman tries to go, oh, he tried to attack me. Like, yeah, oh, you know me, super passionate about my job. I was totally gonna let you leave after you were trying to sneak into the movie theater until you decided to throw Coke at my head. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. My manager looks at her. He's like, ma'am, you need to leave now. And she's like, gladly. I would never want to spend another minute here. I'm like, wow, that's crazy talk coming from somebody who's standing right there. And obviously, my manager walks up to me, asks me what happened. So I kind of tell him that she was mad at me. So I was like, look, it's not my fault that you tried to sneak into the movie theater. Like, you can't blame me. And she threw the drink at me. And my manager looks at me and he goes, you're a good employee. Looks at the mess and says, now go ahead and clean this up. I had to clean up the mess that this lady did for me. So if you're watching this, lady, not only were you not cool and ended up getting in trouble, but on top of that, you made a mess and then I had to clean it up, bruh. You attacked me with a can of Coke, a cup of Coke, and I had to clean it. I don't understand what type of fascism this is, but it's not cool. Regardless though, guys, what ended up happening to that lady is actually pretty AIDS. She tried to come back like a week later and just thought that nobody was going to remember her, and obviously we did, and my same manager was working, so I told him, hey, look, it's the lady that we were supposed to ban, and he was like, oh my god, you're right, and called the police, right? And I was getting off in about 10 minutes, so I was like, look, I'm going to skedaddle before they get here because I really don't want to be involved in this at all. But basically, movie hopping is in a way illegal. I don't really know how it works, all right? I'm not an expert on movie law. But, yeah, he called the cops on her, and from what I've heard, she ended up getting arrested because she tried to fight the police in the lobby of a movie theater, which might be the weirdest place to have a standoff with the police. And the best part is, look, she got in trouble, right? But I was about to get off in about 10 minutes. I was working in concessions that day. She walks in, looks at me in the concession line, says, ugh, I can't be served by him, and goes to a different line. This lady acting like she didn't just throw Coke at my head, like I wasn't gonna remember her. You know me, oh, what? Wow, I have no idea why this woman has a sudden hatred for me and serving her Coca-Cola. Like, I don't even know. I don't know, man. I swear to God, something about soccer moms in their brain makes them think that life just isn't real, you know? Like, there's no rules in life. They can just do whatever they want because their husband bought them a Range Rover. I don't really know what type of lifestyle it is, but all I know is that I really hope whoever I end up marrying does not get that delusional and crazy because that's just got to be pretty embarrassing. But, yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed. And as always, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure you're hot. Today's notification shout out goes to Tristan Trevor 2008. Big shout out to you for having on notifications. If you want a notification shout out, turn on notifications, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby. If you guys like the animated stuff, be sure to comment down below. All that good stuff. Have a beautiful Christmas. Get yourself some Scrubby merch. Use code Scrubby at the G Fuel checkout. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.